All set. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Scioto Southland Community Center. We thank you all for coming. My name is Becky Walcott, and I am a community leader in Scioto Southland community. And you know, I walked into this center back in the 70s as a young girl. It was then named Indian Mound, and it was all the excitement. We quickly outgrew that center. So to have what we have today is such a gift. The center opened up, or I should say construction ended, and we opened in March of 2020. I think we all remember March of 2020. So you can just imagine. But under the leadership of our phenomenal center manager, Mr. Sean Ballard, we are so busy and so crowded, and we absolutely love it. The families have enjoyed this center immensely. I can't begin to tell you how much community it has created. We're seeing all generations. You know, we come in here and it's our neighbors, our friends, our seniors, our children, our preschoolers. Another fabulous thing that the center's been able to offer to our charter schools and other organizations. We have literally right now going on in the building, we have therapeutic art. And so Sean and his team have reached out to so many organizations in the center to utilize our facility during the day when most families are at work and at school. So just again, I can't brag enough about our center and the staff. They're just phenomenal. And you know, all of this is, you know, comes along, it allows us to continue our traditions. So next Tuesday, we're going to have our annual fall event. We're going to do trunk or treat. Last year, coming out of the pandemic, we had over 200, close to 230 children. We played music in the parking lot, turned the lights on, danced, passed out candy. We had a ball. We always have our annual Easter egg hunt. That is the Saturday before Easter Sunday. And then, of course, every year we do our Winter Fest, which just brings the holiday joy to all the children and the families. So to have this magnificent center, this is our first year to really be able to fully enjoy all of those events that have been a long-time tradition in Scioto Southland. So what I want to say today is all of this is possible because city residents voted for a bond package. And we're a huge growing area. We are 25 square miles far south Columbus is. We have so many homes coming soon. By the end of 24, we will be home to 6 affordable housing complexes. So many more families coming, and to have this center to welcome them it's just a real blessing. So again, I just want to say this all comes from voting to pass these bond issues. And so with this one on the ballot, I'll tell you, my votes are an easy yes. So thank you all. I do want to introduce, we have, obviously this afternoon, we have our council president, Mr. Shannon Hardin. We have the director of Rec and Parks, Bernita Reese, and then of course, our mayor Ginther is going to speak next, and I think he'll take it from here. So, but again, welcome everybody. We so appreciate you all coming, and please vote for those bond packages. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky.
Thanks.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Becky, and I want to thank Director Reese and the entire team, the staff here. You guys are the best, and so proud of the great work you do every day on behalf here of the city. To Council President Hardin and all of City Council, mayors can propose whatever they want. But the legislative branch is why we have this package on the ballot and why we're able to continue to invest in neighborhoods throughout the city. Talitha Pugh and all her colleagues on the Recreation and Parks Commission, thanks for your service. And Becky, quite honestly, we wouldn't be here today without your advocacy. I remember early on in my tenure and even the latter part of the Coleman administration, you made it perfectly clear on the people of this neighborhood that they deserved this center. And we're so glad it's children, seniors, folks from around the community, a place where folks can gather, get to know each other, and build those relationships. We know that great neighborhoods are what make up great cities, and our Recreation and Parks Department has a critical role to play in that. Scioto Southland is a dynamic destination, and it is because of the hard work of our residents and the support we've received from previous voter-approved bonds, as Becky mentioned. Our parks and community centers remain a top priority for our city. They're central to who we are and who we aspire to be. They serve as anchors in our neighborhoods, outlets for engagement and enrichment, and particularly coming out of a global pandemic and all that we've endured in the last couple of years, a chance for us to be together, to recreate, to get to know each other, and support and celebrate each other. They host activities and traditions. I don't know, Cece and Noah might be heading down to this trunk or treat here if it's one of the best in the city, and over 200 kids. That's fantastic for an exceptional quality of life. They're home to vibrant green spaces and natural amenities that promote health, well-being, and longevity. And they offer accessibility, affordable opportunities for children, families, and seniors to unlock their talents and live life to the fullest on a pickleball court or in an art studio or out on the dance floor. It's essential that we continue to grow and strengthen our incredible park system so that everyone in our community can enjoy the broad range of benefits and experiences they provide. Our plans for the future take into account our opportunities and challenges as a rapidly growing, thriving, diverse metropolitan community. But they also take into account the improvements and renovations needed to maintain the park system that we already have, ensuring the highest quality facility spaces, experiences for all who utilize our parks, playgrounds, and our community centers. That's why the $1.5 billion bond package on the ballot this fall is so important. Voter-approved bonds enable us to borrow money for significant capital improvements at a lower interest rate, saving our residents millions of dollars while allowing the city to invest even more in our neighborhoods while creating jobs and putting people to work. Issues 14 to 18 represent a range of strategic investments in neighborhood infrastructure and services. Issue 15 is specifically for our parks and community centers, with $200 million in dedicated funding. It encompasses what we need in order to preserve our past and seize the possibilities of the future, and it does so without raising your taxes. Here's how we envision allocating the $200 million. Roughly half will go toward planned renovations and replacements. This includes playgrounds, parks, forestry and parks equipment, HVAC, and energy efficiency improvements. $48 million will go to new greenway and park development, like our recreation trails and waterways. $14 million will support acquisitions for future parklands, including for connectivity and conservation purposes. We're going to grow dramatically in the next 10 to 20 years, and we want to make sure that we preserve green space, bikeways, waterways, and trails for the future. $14 million will be dedicated to smaller scale upgrades to rental venues and athletic fields. Another $10 million will be allocated for similar spaces, but for larger improvements. $8 million will be reserved for emergency and unscheduled replacement projects. And $6 million will go to unanticipated, time-sensitive, high-priority projects throughout the community. Again, it's worth noting that because of the city's impeccable track record and solid financial footing, we have a AAA bond rating from all three rating agencies, one of the few big cities in America to enjoy that. We're able to do all this without increasing property taxes or imposing new taxes of any kind. It's why I'm so excited about this bond package, the impact it's going to make in our neighbors' lives, and the impact we're going to have in our neighborhoods. We see and hear every day tangible examples of why these investments are so important to our residents, similar to what Becky shared here today. But we also must be purposeful and intentional in our work to build a Columbus that is inclusive for everyone. I'm confident that with good information and good education, our voters, as they have for decades, will show up at the polls and move us ever closer in the right direction. None of this would be possible without the partnership and support of our colleagues at Columbus City Council. To tell us more about what they're hearing from residents and to echo why these investments are so important to Council, please welcome Council President Shannon Hardin.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership when we started these discussions regarding putting forth a bond package and the necessity for our council to move this forward to you, to our voters. We talked about places like Scioto South, about this very rec center and the opportunities that we could use to bring communities together. And so that's what this whole conversation is about. Certainly to Director Reese, to Ms. Becky Walcott, to Vice President Pugh, we're just grateful to be in partnership with you as we serve our residents. I'd also like to thank, as Ms. Becky keeps on telling me, keeps whispering in my ear, she said that she even put a little threat out there. She said, I told Director Reese that if you mess with Sean, take him away from this center, that I'll get you. So to Sean, thank you for serving our residents so well. We're very grateful for that service. I often say that what we build, the physical spaces that we inhabit as a community, those are the reflection of our values. This community center here on the South Parsons is that reflection of those values. And I think there's no better place to look for our values than our parks. The Recreation and Parks Department is a model of what government should strive for and should be for our community. So what are parks? They are the places that are open to everyone. Whether you are rich or poor, white or black, young or old, you are welcome in Columbus's parks and recreation centers. They are for you. No one has to pay to enjoy a public park. There is no admissions fee. There are no fee. They are free. Everyone is welcome here. Their parks are publicly owned, which means you own them. Part of why we're coming back to the public to help us keep them in good standing and make sure that we have more for more folks. Parks are for the community, free for the community and owned by the community. A city that stays the same is a city that falls behind. That's why we need to continue investing in our public spaces via Issue 15. The $200 million in this issue will not only upkeep what we have today, but also help us to create new spaces that are accessible to everyone. Columbus has so much opportunity ahead of us. With efforts like Link Us Initiative, helping to improve our transit system, and Rapid 5, helping to knit together all of our waterways into a single comprehensive greenway system, this is a watershed moment for us. Now is the time to be bold in our vision, to be bold in our actions. So I'm proud to join with Ms. Becky, with the mayor, with Director Reese, with Letha Pugh and the commission to support Issue 15 and to support our parks and to make sure that we are making the investments as a community that will continue to move us forward. So we're asking for that support from you as well. With that, I'd like to bring up one of my favorite directors, and thank you so much for having us, Director Reese.
Thank you, President Hardin. Mayor Ginther, it is a delight to be here on the south side of town. As everyone has spoken about the center manager here, Mr. Ballard, I say thank you to the staff and to all of you, because it takes one team to complete everything that's being done. You know, when we think about our residents and what our residents deserve and what we offer, our team works hard, not just here, but at the 28 centers that we have throughout this city. They work hard to maintain and enhance the recreation facilities we currently have. You know, as we talk about facilities, we have more than 400 parks, 170 plus playgrounds, and over 230 miles of trails. So if you haven't hit any, hit them today. This is sunshine today. Not to mention our athletic complexes, golf courses, and our pools. But it can be difficult to stay ahead of the evolving needs for our residents as we plan for future growth. That's why we rely on bond issues to enhance our funding. Columbus residents have a long history of supporting recreation services in our community, and we look for that support on a daily basis because it makes a real difference today, and it will make a difference in the future. We want to just talk about a few examples of what has happened with previous bonds. The new Linden Community Center, which opened in 2021, doubled the size of the important hub for connections through recreation and even health care with a medical center inside. The gymnasium, elevated indoor track, fitness center, game room, teaching kitchen, music studio, and more serve as a place for residents to stay active and become connected. And the 19.5-acre park's fishing pond is just a delight for not just young children, but for adults too, as they take part in that pond every day. This was a $27 million investment that has improved the health and well-being of the community in just a few short months. The second project is the renovation of the Franklin Park Adventure Center in Near East Columbus expands the recreation opportunities for people with disabilities. As I had a chance to go over the other day and they were practicing wheelchair basketball. These are just a few of the things that are taking place. So if you haven't been over, go over and see wheelchair fencing, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair hockey, blind soccer, blind hockey, blind archery. These are some of the things that are taking place at the Adventure Center. That Adventure Center meets the specific needs of that population. This was a $3.2 million investment, and that only taps the beginning of what makes a difference in a person's life with disabilities. John Burrell's Park, located at the Greater Hilltop, serves as one of the few public park spaces. It serves about 6,000 residents, completed just a few months ago. This is a park that's suitable for children and adults seeking a safe place for play, physical fitness, and community gatherings. This $400,000 investment gave residents access to things that are critically important to the everyday connectivity of how we manage physical and mental health in the aftermath of a pandemic. Located in East Columbus, the Alum Creek Trail, Johnstown Road Connector Project connected the East Columbus Crum Park neighborhood to the Alum Creek Trail. The construction of the trail and the bike lanes, along with the bridge and safety improvements, puts over 4,000 residents within a 10-minute walk of the connector. This $2.3 million investment also opened access to more than 126 miles of regional trail network. These are just a few of the projects that we've made possible, thanks to our residents and the support that you all have given us in our last bond package. The passage of Issue 15 will enable Columbus Recreation and Parks to continue to enhance and add to many great facilities and trail systems. Residents, we want you to enjoy this every day, not only during our summer months, but in our fall months and in our spring months and also in our winter months. That's why we have that indoor trail. This is something that we know you deserve, and we look to serve you every day with better facilities. At this time, I'm grateful to have our Vice President, who is over our commission, and that is Ms. Letha Pugh.
Thank you, Director Reese. As a mother, a small business owner, and a longtime Columbus resident, I see the value of recreation and parks to our community. So much so, and with all the free time that I have, I now serve on the Columbus Recreation and Parks Commission as Vice President. Parks and recreation services improve our quality of life. When a city offers robust recreational programming, works to conserve the environment, hosts community events, and supports its most vulnerable residents, everyone benefits. Residents' physical and mental health is improved. Environmental stressors are reduced, and we have more pride in our community. Many people in our community rely on Columbus and recreation and parks. The department offers a safe place for children to spend their summer. Job readiness programs prepare our youth for a successful future. Sports leagues and fitness centers create a sense of community and help residents stay active and healthy. Food programs support families who need a little assistance. For residents to enjoy these critical supports, the hundreds upon hundreds of parks and facilities the department is responsible for must be kept in good working condition and continue to evolve as the needs of our residents change and our city grows. And as a commissioner, I see firsthand how the department strategically uses its funding to prioritize projects and realize the biggest impact with the funds available. Yet the funding available to the department is limited. That's why the community support is critical. While the department has many great things on the horizon, Issue 15 will enhance those efforts. Columbus residents will benefit from the investments for years to come. An investment in our city is an investment in our quality of life. When you vote on November 8th, and I encourage everyone to pay extra attention to Issue 15, make your voice heard. The community is depending on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Letha. Thanks for your service and leadership on the commission and for your advocacy on behalf of our parks, our team, our staff, our centers. You know, we're grateful for the support that the community and voters have provided to recreation and parks and other parts of bond packages, as I said, for decades. But we're not entitled to it. We have to earn it. And part of these events is reporting out what we're going to use these resources for and telling the story about how we've invested previous bond issues that have been passed by the public. We want our residents to show up and make their voices heard. I believe strongly your vote is your voice, and we believe every voice should be heard. We're encouraging people to show up and vote Tuesday, November 8th. But early voting is underway right now at the Franklin County Board of Elections on Morse Road. So you can show up this afternoon, this evening, or tomorrow morning and vote early. Be sure to visit their website for a complete list of upcoming dates and deadlines and to confirm your polling location if you're going to vote in your neighborhood on Election Day. I firmly believe the next 10 to 15 years will be among the most consequential in our city's history. What we do now will determine our trajectory for decades to come. This bond package makes possible the investments we need to realize our full potential as a community. By casting your vote in this election, we'll help to realize our potential more fully together. Be happy to take any questions from the press about today's topic, and I'll stick around in case you want to ask me about anything else under the sun, but want to respect our other speakers' times and commitment this afternoon. Any questions about Issue 15 or the bond package for me or any of the other speakers?
Like a big topic of conversation recently has been engaging our youth in productive programs. So how will voting yes on this help to achieve that mission that we've been talking about so much?
Well, one of the things I think the Council President and I are most proud of, one of the biggest places we've invested with our rescue plan dollars has been in youth programming, youth employment, youth services. So really using our recreation and parks team as well as other neighborhood organizations throughout the community to engage our young people to make sure that they are involved with constructive activities, building meaningful relationships with caring, trusted adults. And we do think it's part of our overall neighborhood health and safety plan. We think we can build a safer city with prevention, intervention, and then ultimately enforcement if necessary. And it's one of the reasons our intervention teams have been so successful. They're based out of Recreation and Parks, work with Director Reese. So the bond package is more about centers, bikeways, trails, capital improvements. Our general fund budget helps to fund the programming and services, the people side of the house. So this issue will help update, renovate, improve our existing offerings in the recreation and park space, but also help to invest and build for the future. The programming and services that we think are so critical are funded with our operating budget and come primarily from the general fund. Director, you want to offer anything else on that?
Want to come here, right?
Thank you, Mayor. You are correct. One of the things that we have done, and that is we wanted to make sure, there's resources that we want to provide to our teens, and not just our teens, but our young adults as well. And so year-round jobs, those are funds that have been additional funds added to our department, and that is that we're able to keep our youth busy, not just doing our summer months on jobs, but this is year-round. Some of our programming, we've reached harder into our teen programming, more into our middle school programming. So these are areas where we know there is a need. We want to make sure that we're meeting that need as much as possible. So we're asking parents, bring them out. This Saturday, we have a city leaders program. There's room for more, and that's that middle school age group. And so we are providing programs. These are free programs that we're providing. We're just asking the young people to join us. That's all. Any other questions?
Just that we all know that these communal spaces, recreation and park centers, our parks, our trails, these are safe spaces. This is where your grandma is. It's where your cousins are. And so we know by investing in them, we create safe spaces where we can come together. And so issue 15 on the ballot is critically important as we make sure that those communal spaces are there, that they are clean, that they are improved, so that we can all come together.
Any other questions from the press? We'll stick around for a few minutes if you guys want to ask about anything else that's on your mind. But thanks for being here. Becky, thank you. And thanks for sharing the message.